Hello, I think we are live. Thank you. Thank you. Hey everyone, welcome to Supercharged Friday. It is the 14th of February and I have a terrible cold and a cough. So I hope to God that you don't hear it at all. If you do, I'm going to try and mute you so that you don't have to hear my terrible sound. So welcome to Valentine Day edition. There's sad to say there's nothing remotely close to close to what we're going to be talking about, which is Valentine's Day. We have a topic for today, which is the first time. Typically, I do like a ask me anything, and we share, we give each other, we help each other. Sometimes there's questions where I give it back to the group. It's a lovely group. The collective wisdom helps us out. Again, I'm apologizing. I'm telling you, you're going to hear some sort of wheezing sounds and sniffing. I'm extremely sorry about that. Okay, so as you know, the LinkedIn Live app is in beta phase, so I have to look at my phone every time I see comments. Hey Joseph, it's so nice to see you here. Welcome. Hey Shuchi. Shuchi's a dear old friend. It's so nice to see you, Shuchi. Joseph, I enjoy your reading your content, and it's so nice to welcome you here. Shuchi, my dear, absolutely lovely to see you. Fantastic. What time is it? So India is 6:30. Shuchi. Baltimore. Hey Lee, welcome. So it's like nice and early for you. 8 in the morning for you. And Joseph, what time is it for you? Oh gosh, I desperately need my tea. I'm getting lots of likes. That's really encouraging. We're gonna get started. I'm so happy this is not a face-to-face session because I wouldn't have been able to hold it. But before we get started, I typically sort of, it's 6:30. Hey Pankaj, welcome. I typically, take just a couple of minutes while it takes, time for a few people. Sometimes they're stragglers, sometimes they're stuck in traffic or whatever, and they are joining in. But in the meantime, I like to start off by asking a question of the week. So I see there's a few of us who are watching, a couple of, a little over a dozen. The number goes up and down. If you're watching and you haven't commented, come in and say hello. Say hello to this group. Think of it as a virtual networking event. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing's bad is going to happen. I'm not going to bite. Maybe not today. It's Friday. Excuse me. Hi, Pradeep. Welcome. Anurag, welcome. Lovely. Hey, Sarita. Lovely to have you here. Fantastic. So I'd love to ask you guys, give me one thing that you learned this week. What is the one thing between Monday and today? Whenever your week started, maybe your week started on Saturday, but in the last 1 week, one thing that you learned today that you did not know before. Lee, sometimes there's more people in the US, but not everyone says hello. Right now, it feels like you're the only one, but I've seen others from North America. Last time I had a couple of people. One was from Miami. Right now, we might have somebody from Australia as well. Hey, Sunil, welcome. Nice to have you here. So Lee says she learned that focus requires focus. It sounds simple enough, but I think common sense is not common practice, right? So you got to take the time and the distance to be able to focus. It doesn't just snap like that. Quick check. I know it's already been a few minutes, but hopefully you can see me and hear me properly. If yes, give me a thumbs up, please. Okay. Hey, Satish. Hey, Satish. Welcome. Welcome. Afaq, hello. You saying that you've learned the importance of the messaging of your sales and marketing strategy. Ooh, that's a very, very critical one. Some people say that's the first thing we should learn, but better late than never. So many things have evolved when it comes to sales and marketing, and I think even recruitment, right? When it comes to the value proposition, why do you want to hire people? What's so special about your company? I think it comes down to the same, the messaging. So that's very interesting. Pradeep says he's learned the power of visualization, so that's wonderful. Great. I think we're something like 25, 26 now. And if you're watching this and you're watching me read and I'm not reading your message, there's a pretty good chance that you're watching this after the live has already been over. So I have to say this because it happens sometimes that I see messages like a day later or a few hours later, and those people are like, hey, what happened? You didn't read my message. So now you know why. Janvi, hello, welcome. It's so nice to see you here. We were interacting a few hours ago and now here we are. This is the power of technology. Lovely to have you. Welcome. So I think let's dive in, because normally we do, like I mentioned, we do an ask me anything type of thing. We keep it like we keep it pretty non-structured, and we talk about questions and struggles that people have, and they want to share all their challenges, and then we help each other out. But this is something I've been thinking about for a few days now, and there's some very, very basic mistakes that I feel a lot of us, including myself, I'll be honest, are making, and it's work in progress, right? There's things I've learned, and I'm not going to call myself an expert. I'm sorry, I absolutely detest that word, because for me, expert means you've learned everything you had to learn, and you've reached that stage where you don't need to learn anymore. And I'm always learning. I'm learning every single day. So I wanted to share some learnings with you that I have observed, that people have taught me, and having spoken with others who, for example, do recruitment, and having shared notes. All of this was some sort of research that I've done, and so I'm going to be sharing the 5 mistakes, and I'm going to share my screen so that you can see what I can see. So it's easier for you. Hopefully you can see my presentation. I don't know if you can see me. I'm guessing you can't see me. You can only see my screen. I think that's how it works. But hopefully you can hear me as well. So I'm just quickly reading some messages. Anurag says he's learned that money isn't enough, right? Yeah, absolutely. And visualization, yeah, those are beautiful, beautiful lessons. So okay, you can see me. Good. I have to behave myself. Okay, so good. I'm sorry, I'm going to stop sharing because I forgot something for a second. I don't think I gave you guys time to respond to this question. It just helps me to meet you where you are right now. So since when are you on LinkedIn? And today, what do you primarily use it for? If you could just answer that in the chat, I'm going to be reading it out, and it's going to help a lot of us as well. It's going to help me definitely. I'm also going to refresh in the meantime. Okay, good that you can see when I shared my screen. So approximately give me an idea, when did you start using LinkedIn? Like, when did you put your profile in there? And today, what do you primarily use it for? Okay, refresh, new comments. Perfect. I lost track of when we started. Okay. You mean when you started on LinkedIn? Doesn't matter, Lee. But today, what do you primarily use it for? because I'm guessing we are a mixed bunch of people, right? We can be job seekers, we can be all. So I just want to know exactly what. Pankaj says connect with the community. Lee says expand the network and keep up. Yeah. LinkedIn is very powerful for business, great potential, expand network. Abhinav says nurture with compelling content. Content is a beautiful one. Also a place for tremendous learning, given so many excellent avenues. They keep coming up as your own Friday show. That's very kind. Thank you. Yeah, it's a great opportunity. Hey, Anurag. So you've been active for the last 4 or 5 years and you primarily use it to read about the latest trends and news. That's very true. So excuse me. Um, I feel like the competition for LinkedIn content today is very, very fierce, right? You've got the Harvard Business Review, you've got Forbes. I think the content is really, really compelling. So that's a big one. Shuchi says it's been a long time. I can't remember. Okay, fair enough. It's if you can't remember, then clearly it's been a long time. So let's get back to, I'm going to share my screen and let's dive in. I'll make a little presentation for you guys. And I'm going to go over some facts. You probably know these things, but I think it's worth reiterating. So we're talking about amazing reach and visibility, right? Awe-inspiring. We're talking about 20 millions and millions of companies that are on LinkedIn today. We're talking about millions of jobs. And lots of recruiters in the past, including myself, use LinkedIn actively, like every single day. And so, we can't deny these facts. These are facts. But the thing is, you need to be careful. The thing, you need to be on LinkedIn. Obviously, if you're here, you are on LinkedIn. So it goes without saying. But you meet people. I'm sure you meet people who are not on LinkedIn and they don't think they need it. It's a little bit of a mistake. It's a huge one, actually. And if you are here on LinkedIn, you need to be searchable. It doesn't matter who you are, whether you're a business owner, whether you're a job seeker, whether you're an employee who's very happy with their job, good for you. But it helps to be able to be searchable if you are a certain authority in your space. And if you publish content, whether it's your own content or whether it's content that somebody else published that inspired you, it needs to be visible, right? Why else would you publish it? It's like someone who goes and sings with a guitar and nobody shows up. So that's quite depressing and we don't want that, right? So there's the last time I made this, made some facts a few months ago, it was something like 550 million people on LinkedIn. I believe the number has now crossed 600 million from the last time that I checked. So we do want to stand out. It's obvious. And not only do we want to stand out, we also want to avoid doing what many people do, which are these 5, what I call mistakes. The first mistake is the impressions. We all think we do a pretty good job with our picture and our headline. I learned a little bit to my horror that, it can always be, give me a second, it can always be better. So I'm going to, just for the sake of, demonstrating and explanation, I'm going to show you my own LinkedIn profile. So you've got the picture and you've got the headline. So I'm talking about this bit. Okay. We want this to help you to create a positive first impression. Now, let's talk about the picture for a second. This is a no-brainer. In many countries, we say, don't put a picture on your CV. Now here, if you show up on LinkedIn and if you send someone a connection request and you don't have a picture on your CV, it's like, who are you? Yeah, that's number one. So not having a picture is it's strange. You look anonymous. You look like you've got something to hide. That's a problem. The second thing is people have some very creative ideas when it comes to their picture. I don't think this is a place to be super creative. I mean, at least I think so. Everyone has their own personality. Now, what do I mean by that? People will sometimes put their company logo on it, or there'll be a picture of like someone with thick like eyeglasses, or sunshades, um, or a picture is really far away and you can barely see their face. Now, keep in mind, a lot of people use LinkedIn on their phone. So if your picture is, from far away and you're not zoomed in, so nobody can really see you. So my recommendation, and a lot of people, what they say is have a picture up to your, you know, up to your upper shoulders. So it's clear, it's visible. The other day, someone sent me a connection request with a champagne, like the person was holding a beer bottle. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, let's really. There's common sense here. Someone sent me a picture recently. Someone sent me a connection request, and I looked at their picture, and that person was with his kids. So this isn't Facebook. It goes without saying, but sometimes you got to say it out loud. Professional, yeah, I also want to say this is not your CV, and we're going to come to that. So do smile. If you are the type of person who smiles, then why not? If you never smile and you're always very serious, I'm not saying be somebody you're not, but if you are relatively someone who likes to smile, this is a place to do so. A CV is a little bit more, you can say, a little bit more professional, a little bit more serious. The thing with LinkedIn is this is the place to have a bit of a personality. Because at the end of the day, even if it's professional, don't forget it's a social media platform. Okay, so if you have any comments in the meantime or questions, I'm going to keep checking my phone. So please feel free to ask if there's something you didn't understand, etc. Now, the thing with the headline is we need a combination of a few things. If you're already working and you're not looking for a job, yeah, then your current title is fine, but it's not enough. Why do I say that? This is a place for personal branding. You are more than the employee in XYZ company. You also have a certain skill. So feel free to put that in there. Some people will say put your skills. Some people will say put your mission statement. What do you stand for? Now I want to talk about this one right now. I think you can do that. Of course you should do it. You should do whatever whatever makes you happy. Now keep in mind, if you're looking for a job or you're an entrepreneur and you're looking for opportunities, I'll give you an example. I have a company, I'm doing very well, but I'd also like to be invited to speaking events. Yeah, I think I'm a pretty good speaker. Then I should write the word speaker in my headline. Why? When somebody looks for a speaker on LinkedIn, I want to be found. So put in the skills for which you want to be found. Okay. If your current title is, let's say, business development director, put it in there, because that is very well a keyword for which you can be found when somebody else is looking for someone in business development. But if you have a very unusual title, which is not known anywhere else except in your own company, keep that in mind. Okay. That's one. So some people say put your mission. I also think if you can, put, now remember there's a very limited characters. I think it's 120 or 150 characters. So not a huge amount of space. But if possible, one thing that I think you can do is write your biggest achievement in your headline, if the space allows it. If you're somebody who's responsible for building a $1 billion brand, put it in there. The single most absolutely awe-inspiring achievement, put it in your headline. Why? We want to be noticed from the get-go. We want to help the person who's looking, the eyeballs, we want to help them to view us and to view our profile as easily as possible and hold their hand. And we don't want them to look and hunt, because people's attention spans are really, really short. Any questions so far? Tips to search and grab amazing opportunities through LinkedIn. Yeah. Hey, Tejas. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. So the first impressions are critical. Your picture and your headline. So if you missed a little bit, Tejas, go back and watch a little bit of the live. Hey, Violetta, nice to see you. Yeah, it's basically a visiting card. It's a professional visiting card. And yeah, it's a way to get back in the whole new world of networking and opportunities. So unbelievable the number of people who take this one for granted, which is your first impression. You don't get, like they say, you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. Then the second mistake, oh goodness me, raise your hand if this happens to you. I don't care what you do, but you connect with someone, within 30 seconds they send you something. I want, look at my CV, give me a job, I'm selling this thing, buy it from me. I don't know you from Adam, but please recommend me. Huh? Can you endorse me? No. No. No, 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 no. Please, please, please don't do that. You have zero credibility with someone whom you just connected with. And stop leading with me, my. Worst case scenario, the person receiving it will block you. They'll be like, what on earth? I don't know this person and they're asking me to recommend. It happened to me more than once. And I said, honestly, would you recommend me if you didn't know me? Why, think common sense, reciprocity. How desperate are we to be accepted in the social media space that we'll do whatever it takes? There's zero authenticity in that. Now, whether you're selling something or whether you're selling yourself, yeah. So Tejas, your question, you're looking for a job. So you connect with someone who looks like a recruiter. Firstly, do not send your CV. They don't know you. Your CV is a very, very sacred document. I treat the CV with a lot of care. Why do I say that? It's taken a long time for you to make something that you're proud of. If you send it to random people who you don't know, there's a pretty high chance somebody will copy it or use it for, whatever. I don't know, God knows what. So you only send it when you see an opportunity that there is somebody who's serious, about it. So if you're in touch with a recruiter, for example, and you connected, and the person accepted you, and now you both are first degree connections, saying, you work for this company. Oh, that's great. It's interesting. I'd love to have a chat. Just get to know the old-fashioned way, as opposed to just shoving something down somebody's throat, whether it's a CV, whether it's a pitch. A CV, if you think about it, is also like a pitch. I get about 10 of these a day. I'm a nice, I'm a nice person. So I do tend to say, hey, I don't have a company. I'm not looking for someone. I'm self-employed. I wish you all the best. Yeah, I do that. But majority of the time, people will ignore you. And that's not fair to you, okay? You deserve the best chance, the best shot. So don't do anything that demeans you. Even if you're desperate, there is a way to go about these things, but don't lead with what you want. So I hope, Lee, stop laughing. This is really sad because my heart breaks every time I, get these sort of messages. This is a very classic example of what they don't teach you in whether it's business school, whether it's high school, soft skills, life skills, interpersonal skills. Sometimes, we get burnt and we learn the hard way. Yeah, Janvi, it happens really often. The thing is also, if you're in a sales role, you've been told sell, 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 no matter what. And not the right approach. Yeah, Lee, so you're saying you received request to promote a product and you're like, yeah, it's not, it's the thing is, it's silly. I also received, by the way, a very critical one. Guys, don't get this wrong. So you know my name, right? Hopefully you know my name. My name is Sonal. So I got this request a few days ago and I had it on 2 different days. The person wrote a covering letter to me, which I know I'm not going to read, but okay, scroll, scroll, scroll. I looked at the top of the covering letter. That was not even my name. Dear Neha. I'm like, who? So I had some fun with this person and I was like, I'm not, I don't have a company. I wish you the very best. Warm regards, or best regards, Sonal, not Neha. I was a little cheeky, but if you're going to copy paste and you're going to make an ass of yourself, someone has to tell you. You'll never repeat that again. So hopefully that's not going to happen. So don't lead with what you want. Lead with what you can give. The opposite of want. The opposite of taking is giving. What are they looking for? In fact, don't even lead with like an ulterior motive. Just old fashioned, love to talk to you. Why is that? Because the KLT, the know, like, and trust is important in any relationship, particularly in sales and recruitment, which, if you think about it, are two sides of the same coin. You got to know someone, only then you can like them. And then you trust them. Trust is earned, trust is far away in the journey. Okay. Hopefully that's clear. And when you make an ass of yourself, someone has to tell you, yeah, I do it with the best intentions. I do it with love. I know it sounds a bit maybe because it's Valentine's Day, but I really do, because nobody has told them that. Some people come from a culture where it's just accepted, and it's never too late to learn something new, right? That's what we say. The other mistake, so this was the second one, leading with what you want. The third one is a little interesting. There was so much meat in it, I decided to break it up into 3A, 3B, 3C. So pardon me if it's a little, and I've completely nerded out on this one. And hopefully you'll derive some value from it. How many of us in the past, I'd like you to raise your hand. I don't know if you can raise your hand. You just say me. Be honest. Okay. I'm one of them, by the way. I'm more than happy to be honest here. How many of us in the past have treated our LinkedIn like a CV? When I say treated it, I mean copy pasted our resume, like big chunks, big paragraphs of our CV into our LinkedIn profile. How many have done that? Please say me, I, me, moi, yo, whatever. In Ich. No, what is it in German? Oh, whatever. Never mind. Ich. You're very welcome, Tejas. I hope it's useful. So how many of us have done that? So obviously, now it's a mistake because I'm calling it a mistake in the presentation, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You learn. You literally learn every single day. Refresh. Yeah, Anurag, I've done that as well. And I did it, I think, not so long ago. I did it a couple of years ago. And anyone else? Is there anyone who did that and actually it helped them? Because sometimes it's nice, and I like to be proved wrong as well. But here I'm going to share why it doesn't work. Okay. People are typing. I'm going to go ahead. The thing is, excuse me, LinkedIn and your resume. When I say resume, for some very technical people, I'm talking about the CV. I know the terms are not exactly the same, but I'm here. I use them interchangeably. Yeah, Lee, I used to use that as well. I used to do it as well. So LinkedIn and your CV are very similar in the sense both showcase your professional achievements. Yeah, they're supposed to be this brochure which tell people how awesome you are. They both have powerful summaries, or they should have, right? Now in LinkedIn, it's a place that you already, and I'm gonna talk about this one in detail. You see this about section. So both, that's in the CV, you would call this a summary. Here in LinkedIn, you call it about. Both have searchable keywords, which means, if you send your CV, the applicant tracking system, the ATS, is looking for certain skills. So it's looking for those keywords, and if it finds those keywords in your CV, it picks it up. And same goes for LinkedIn, which has a very powerful search engine. And both show some proof of the value that you delivered in the past. Just gonna pause it for a second. Yeah, Shuchi, you didn't entirely copy paste it. Yeah, you used a little bit of brain, right? In Hindi we say nakal mein akal. Yeah, nakal mein akal. But yeah, there's a rule for that. Violetta, there's a rule about job seekers. The CV and LinkedIn profile must look identical. Violetta, can you tell me where you heard that it has to look identical? Because I disagree. And I'll show you why. I'll tell you why I disagree. The number one reason why I disagree is, I'll give you examples. Okay. In the past, I had a client who had a CV and he wasn't necessarily convinced with my advice, and he did a copy paste and put his achievements exactly the way they were in his LinkedIn profile. Now, what happened? Remember, LinkedIn is public. When you have your CV, it goes to a recruiter, and let's say there is some sort of an unwritten contract between you and the recruiter. Two people are looking at it. Yeah. When it's LinkedIn, it's the whole world. So he put some stuff in his LinkedIn profile. And the next day, his boss knocked on his sort of glass cabin, and he said, "Hey, can you come in for a second?" And he said, "Sure, boss, what is it?" So his boss said, "I noticed there was something in your LinkedIn profile, and you said you achieved X million in sales revenue, but that was a team effort. And you're not heading the team, you were part of the team." So, yes, I know it's obvious, but sometimes when we write our CV, we have to be careful. I know that we can't lie, we can't stretch the truth, but we have to be even more careful on LinkedIn because it's public. The other thing is, I feel that's my experience, and if anybody else has something to add, please do. The CV is a lot more serious and a lot more professional as a document, because the only purpose of your CV, usually, the purpose of your CV is to get you a job. Your LinkedIn profile is much more than that. Your LinkedIn profile is also like your website. It showcases a lot more creativity. And your CV is like tell, tell, tell. The LinkedIn is tell, tell, and show. It shows people what you've done. How? There's proof in there. There's links, there's content, there's articles, there's posts, um, recommendations, all those things that the CV doesn't have. So I feel like LinkedIn is bigger and broader, and I don't think that they need to be treated the same way. And I'm going to give you another example to prove why I feel um, the way I do. Okay. In the meantime, feel free, if you have any comment, feel free to add. I'm going to just, yeah, 1 second. I'm going to pause for a brief second because I'm. Sorry, that was a nasty bit of cough coming, so I wanted to make sure you don't hear it. Okay, now I'm going to come back to what I said, Violetta, and feel free to disagree with me. Like I said, these are my learnings, and this is what I'm sharing. Now let's look at the about section. I want to talk about how it's underutilized today, and we need to be doing something with it. So, oops, I'm missing a LinkedIn screen. It seems to have gone. Okay, minor tech glitch. There we are. Okay. Excuse me. Now, oh, here we are on LinkedIn. Why is this happening? Oh, where's my page? There's my page. Okay. Now you see this about section on your profile page. Don't be shy to use it. Now, this is another reason why the profile section, the about section is not like other the other parts of your CV. Violetta, yeah, I've seen you've written a comment. I'll just come back to that. This tells a little bit about your backstory. It doesn't matter who you are, whether you're a professional, you're a business owner, or you're somebody looking for a job. Honestly, it doesn't matter. There is a reason that this is 2,000 characters. Now, I believe recently it's gone to 2,300. Okay, that's a heck of a lot. I'm not saying write a boring essay so that you can cover all 2,300 characters. That's not what I'm saying. But this helps to showcase you as a person. not just as a professional. And this helps you to showcase your skills in the sense, what can you do for the person who's reading this? You see, it's, how do I say this? It's about me, and yet it's not just about me. It's about me and what I can do for the person reading it. If I'm a business owner, this is what I do for you, and there's a little bit of my background in there. If I'm a candidate who's looking for a job, then these are my skills, and this is why I feel like these skills are useful to you. I've had an interesting life. I've lived in X number of countries. I speak all these languages. It's a place to set yourself apart from everybody else. Remember, we're talking about 600 million. So take everything that LinkedIn is giving you and use it to your advantage. Why would you not do that? A little bit of your backstory. And another thing that I feel LinkedIn, I mentioned it already, how LinkedIn is different from your CV is your LinkedIn profile has a bit more personality than a CV. A CV is quite bland, I'll be honest, right? It's facts, 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 showcasing all of that. And that brings me to an example that I want to show you. Okay, let's say you have this was the second mistake. The first mistake was your treating your LinkedIn exactly like your CV, copy pasting it, underutilizing the about section. And the third thing is, let's say you have an achievement on your CV. Okay, let's say you have something you're proud of. You developed comprehensive reports and insights which enable senior management to reduce material costs by 30%. That's pretty awesome, actually. There's a number in there. I like numbers when it comes to achievement data. It helps with the credibility part immediately. And then in LinkedIn, you can bring, I'm not saying do this all the time, okay? I'm just saying a smattering of it here and there. Don't play so safe all the time like you do on your CV. Take a little bit of a risk. So here, the exact same thing, I take it and I say, I taught myself SAP HANA and consequently developed reports and insights which enabled senior management to reduce material cost by a hopping 30%! Exclamation mark. Now that's what I mean by a little bit more personality and also a little bit of a backstory. Which was not there in your CV. Could you have put this in your CV? Yeah, sure, you could have. But here, it's visible to everyone, and you kicked some, let's say you kicked some backsides. You want to be able to show it because you need to be proud of it, because it helps you to believe how awesome you are. I know it sounds simple, but we don't believe how awesome we are till we see it written on paper, and everyone sees it at the same time. So take advantage of this. Have a little bit of personality in your LinkedIn profile. I'm not saying do it for every single description because it's going to be too much and it's going to distract from your main message. We don't want to. We want to do things in moderation always, right? Too much or too little. Too little is a little boring. You like everyone else. Too much is like, oh God, I can't take it anymore. So we want a combination of that. Just pausing to read a comment. Violetta says the recruiter goes on LinkedIn. If they see different content, they raise. No, I'm not sure. They're two different things. Like I said, you talk to three people, they're going to have three different opinions on it. You're talking to me, this is my opinion in it. My suggestion would be experiment. See what works, see what doesn't. And if it works, continue. Do not, like really, if something is working, just keep doing it. That would be my recommendation. If you feel like the recommendation you got from somebody in the past who told you to treat it exactly the same, if it works, try it. If you're getting calls for interviews, then obviously it's doing its job. Yeah, you'll have all sorts of mentoring programs and there'll be all sorts of opinions. Remember, is at the end of the day, this is based on people's opinions, right? It's not physics. It's not like, energy is equal to like a formula. There's different ways. It's an art and a science. It's a bit of both. So any questions so far? Because I feel like I'm just yapping away. Yes, no? Is this helpful? Is this helping you? Please, little bit of, if it's not, be honest. I'm not gonna cry. I'm kidding. It's just gonna help because it's my eyes are gonna start watering now. Okay. I'm gonna continue in the interest of time. It is 40 past. So yeah, time goes quickly. The next bit, which is not utilized by a big chunk of people who are looking for a job. If you do this already, then I'm really proud of you. But in the meantime, I want to show you that when you go to, hey Vishwa, nice to have you. I'm going to read your comment, Vishwa, in a little while, okay? When you go to your LinkedIn profile and you go to jobs, okay? You click on jobs and there is something called career interest. Okay, I'm just checking. I hope I'm sharing my thing. Yeah, okay, sorry. Just sometimes a little paranoid. You click on career interest. Hopefully you guys have done that. Thank you, Makbul. I'm happy to hear it. You go here and you career interest and you go to, you can do a lot with this. You want to show the right people that you're looking for a job. So, you can click on what kind of jobs are you looking for, titles, etc. Remember, we want to help recruiters to find us. Recruiters are not always, how should I say this? They're not always a happy bunch of people, okay? They've got management breathing down their neck. They want that position closed yesterday. It's always yesterday. And they are under a lot of pressure because quality has to be top notch, because otherwise if people leave within the first year, it affects the KPIs, the key performance indicators of the recruiter. So I would say it's a pretty thankless job. So if you can help them, they will love you. So, click on all of this stuff that you're looking for and you click on add to. I don't want to do this because it's going to show I'm looking for a job and I'm not. But if you do that, all of this will show the recruiter over here. There is something that's going to come up, which is going to show the recruiter that you're actually open to opportunities. One thing I want you to be a little bit mindful of when you do this is the fact that if you're already working and you do this, I don't know for sure who can see it. I've heard in the past, long time ago, I don't know if it's still true, where someone was working in a company and they put in, active or, open to change. And it was visible to the company because the recruiter also had in their network somebody in their company, and the word got around. So you want to be careful in avoiding as much as possible awkward conversations, but it's definitely useful if you don't really care if your company sees it or not, or if you don't, if you're not working, then honestly then it's the best thing. So I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. So if you do this already, I think that's great. You like my IKEA cups, huh? Okay. My screen is blurred. No, I don't think so. Is anybody else got that problem? Hopefully not. Okay, so that was mistake number 4, not using the career interest to your, make it work for you, right? You've got this free, amazing, freaking amazing tool. You want to make it work for you. Okay, how many of us have seen this? You wake up in the morning and you get 10, 5 or 10 messages in your private message on LinkedIn. Hello, good morning. How are you, my dear? Good afternoon. What are you doing right now? This. Okay. Oh, this is not This is not a chat box. Oh, this is not a chat box. Do not use it like it's a chat box, please. It's a professional site. If someone wants to be friends, they will show it to you. Do not push. This is not a messenger. This is not Facebook. This is not Instagram. Okay? Do not use LinkedIn. I'm not saying don't make friends. I mean, it sounds harsh. That's not what I'm saying. But it's got a very different purpose compared to all the other social media platforms. People come here to be seen, to be heard, for business, for promoting their business, for marketing, for getting a job, for promoting their content, all of that stuff. And through that, you meet some pretty amazing people along the way. And if you send them a message and they reply and they're friendly, yes, of course, that's a different conversation altogether. And sometimes professional contacts become closer and you become friends. And one day you decide, I'm going to be in your town and let's have a coffee together. That's awesome. That is the best thing possible when online contacts turn into offline, like real friendship. So that's great. I'm not talking about that. But you know what I'm talking about when there's incessant, useless chatting going on. With no purpose. When you see the person on the other side is not interested, just honestly back off. If I can just say that, with the best intention and with politeness. Quick. Yeah, some people have no patience and they'll block them. Yes, Pankaj. I'm not the only one. It's very, very common. Okay. It gets a bit worse, and I'm going to come to that. I'm just going to quickly read a comment that I missed. Hi, Vishwa. Nice to have you here. The only RHS title definitely more interesting and has more recall. Only the one on RHS title LinkedIn achievement. Yeah, I didn't 100% get what you mean, but yeah, what has more recall, what has more value, credibility, and what people are going to remember. So recall, exactly what you said. Perfect. So that's mistake number 5. How are we on time? Okay, we're pretty good. Normally these things go on for quite a while, but I don't think I can with my throat the way it is. A bonus one that I put in there is something that I really, I know I said there are 5 mistakes and I've added a bonus one because I was feeling pretty generous. It's like Valentine's Day and all of that stuff. Okay. Now I'm going to talk about this. This is really unbelievably common. Now, when you go to I'm going to show you, like, I have a post. Okay. I'm going to give you an example of a post that I put in recently. And there are some wonderful people. I swear, I love when people do that. And I'm sure you'll agree with me as well. When people share what you've done. Okay, maybe I'm being a bit too picky. Okay, I'm going to pick this one. Click. So, when you read somebody's post and you feel very compelled to share it, you share it. Okay. Why do I say it's a mistake? Look at the people who've shared my stuff. Okay. I'm not saying look at them. I'm just saying look at the reactions they got after they shared my stuff. They got 1 like or 0 likes. And chances are the 1 like they got was from me. Thanking them. Okay. Because I get very touched. You will also, right? When you post some original content and somebody says, thank you for sharing. Because I think for me, honestly, it's the best compliment when somebody shares your stuff. Why is that a mistake? The mistake is if you share somebody's content as is, somehow, I don't know why, LinkedIn does not let people in your contacts know about it. I don't know why. Okay. So if you want to share somebody's content, um, what you need to do, okay, 11 shares. What you need to do is when you share somebody's content, give it a spin. Okay. Just before you share it, give it a spin. You know, this part. This lady has, I want to hide her name, you know, for the sake of privacy. Um, she's given it a bit of a spin. She got like 2 likes instead of 1. So, yay, good for her. Write something like a short paragraph on why you like this post, why are you sharing it. Talk about your own examples on what you took away from it. Give it your own spin. And what happens is if you don't, just go back and check all the stuff that you've shared in the past. It goes into some weird black hole, which is really sad, right? Whether you, it is, I'm not saying this because it's my content. You honestly share anybody's content. Not all of us are, not all of us are mentally in a place where we want to share original content yet. You know, we want to go in baby steps. So the first way is you engage in someone's post, you like it, you comment, you know, you dip your toes in the water. 1% of the world today is 1% of the 600 million I'm talking about actually, you know, is active on LinkedIn. So there's a huge opportunity. For the remaining 99%, some of us are sitting in this audience. You can dip your toes very slowly in the water, engage in someone's content, put in thoughtful, meaningful comments. Another thing you could do is share someone's content. Absolutely. If it speaks to you, share it. But again, give it your own spin and talk about it in a little bit more detail. More people will see it and it's going to help 100%. Any other? I don't know if you've noticed this before, but I'm super honored because when I see somebody sharing my content almost every day, I'm like, you know, oh man, I'm so grateful. And yet I'm the only one who saw that they shared it. And you know, you've put in so much hard work and you want it to help as many people as possible. LinkedIn achievement. Yeah. Vishwa, I know what you mean. Yeah, you know, it's about, yeah, it's about taking pride in their work, but it's also about having a little bit more personality in what you do and why you know, you did it and the impact, right? So this was the 6th one. And because it's Valentine's Day, I have to say this. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Not the platform. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be ranting, but this applies to 99% men. I'm sure there's women out there. I don't mean to gender discriminate. Not the platform. Guys, it always starts the same. I know this is a professional platform. I've never done this before. Can I just say, no. Appreciate it. Keep those comments to yourself. Somebody even asked me if I'm married the other day, and I said, yes, I got kids. Didn't stop them. Not the platform. Where do you go when you want these kind of conversations? We've got tons in this world. Yeah, the obvious ones. Go to those platforms. Great places to make friends. This one, you do this, best case scenario, you're ignored. Worst case scenario, you get blocked. People like Lee will block you. Nobody has the patience. And the thing is, when somebody blocks you, you get to know they blocked you. Okay? And that's not a nice feeling. Yes. Don't do it. Okay? I know it's Valentine's Day and all, but it's not an excuse. Today's this is not the platform. Don't even think about it. I'm looking at the camera. I know there's some people out there who've done it. You think no one's watching. Internet gives you the sense of anonymity. No. Beautiful eyes, lovely, gorgeous. I'd love to get to know you. What's your number? Stop. Okay? Stop. Just because a woman has connected with, oh gosh, it's so sad. Most of you don't do this. I'm like, they're like, why is she screaming at us? I'm talking to that 1 or 2 person, you know, those 2 people or 3 people watching who do this. And just because a woman has connected with you on LinkedIn does not give you permission to flirt. Okay, that was my last bit. Um, quick recap before I finish. In the meantime, super happy to take questions. I'm so sorry you had to hear that. Oh goodness. I forgot to say something. You know what? If you have a half profile, like half-hearted, half-done profile, take it, just appear. Just get out of LinkedIn. Now, is there something worse than not being on LinkedIn? Yes, it's a half profile. Like you literally barely exist. No. Do a proper profile or don't do it. But don't do like name and one position, like that's it. And then it's all empty. Very, very unimpressive, very forgettable. So don't do that. We want you to be searchable. We want your content to be visible, and we want you to stand out, stand out in this ocean of 600 million people. Okay. Mistake number one, do not underestimate the first impressions, which is your picture and your headline. We talked about certain things. If you haven't watched the beginning of this live stream, go ahead and watch it. I give specifics on on what I'm not going to be able to listen to this live stream. It's so painful. On what looks good. The second thing is do not treat it exactly. Sorry. Do not make it about you, and what you want to give. You know what you want. You want people's business, your CV, their CV, recommendation, endorsement. Don't do that. People don't know you. It's too soon to be shoving your product or your CV down their throat. The third mistake, which is divided into three, is treating it like a CV, exactly copy pasting things from your CV. Even though they're very similar, at the end of the day, a CV and LinkedIn profile, there are some differences. Take full advantage of the About section to tell your story, to craft it in a way which is compelling, authentic, draws the person in, because this part is like your website, the About section, and talks about how awesome you are. And feel free once in a while, a little smattering of a bit of a risk where you give a personality. Some people will say, do it all the time. This is how I am. Go ahead. Some people will say, I don't feel comfortable with this sort of language, so maybe I'll put it in one place or another place. Do that. As long as it's the truth, as long as it's not going to make you uncomfortable because your boss can see it, everyone should be able to see it. It's not confidential, and it's the truth. Okay. Another thing is not using the career interest part, which we talked about in the LinkedIn profile, where you are basically showing recruiters that you're active and you're looking for a change. Because when recruiters will see that, it encourages them to get in touch with you. And if they feel like you're really, good for the job, and they see that you're active, wow, good combination, which is not that common. The fifth mistake is PM. So the private messages in LinkedIn, use it for professional purposes. Do not use it like a chat, like good morning, good evening, what are you doing right now? No. If you don't know people, you're not going to hear back from them, but don't do this to your own professional reputation. Okay. The third thing which we added on as a bonus, and I said, do not share somebody's post as is, give it your own spin so that it reaches more eyeballs. And finally, not Tinder. LinkedIn is not Tinder. So the conclusion is, this is your visiting card. Violetta, you said that, and I completely agree. It's like your visiting card, your CV, and your personal website all combined into one. If you're going to be meeting someone, and let's say the meeting is set up on Monday, you can be pretty dead sure they're going to be checking out your LinkedIn profile. So it's some, informal sort of background check as well. So it's there. Make it work for you. It doesn't matter what you are, a job seeker, business owner, you're a happy employee working in a company, and you honestly don't need a job. I forgot to say this. A lot of people think LinkedIn is only for job search. Not anymore. It's like I asked in the beginning, some people come here for community, some people come here for content, interesting articles, etc. It's much more than a job portal. So start treating it like so. And This was the end of my little présentation. Happy to happy to take your questions. Some people are like, oh, yeah. The guys who are really surprised, Pankaj, Vishwa, Prasanna, I, I would just say, talk to a few women who you know, who are colleagues or ex-colleagues. Talk to them about whether what happens when in their private messages. Just ask them what's going on. You will you'll be pretty surprised on what happens. Makbul, you're very welcome. Are there any other questions? It's been about an hour that you've been hearing me cough, and I sincerely apologize that you had to do that. But I hope this was useful. It's better than canceling. I had a half a mind to cancel and not show up, but at least it's not face. If it were face to face, I wouldn't have done this. I'm going to take up. You're very welcome, Pankaj. I'm going to take just a few seconds and sip my cold tea. Any other comments or questions you have? If you're bold enough and you want me to audit, I can audit your LinkedIn profile right now. Maybe we'll do that another day. Yeah, I know what, I'll do that another day. I think I'm done. But if there are any questions, super happy to take them. Otherwise, I think we are a go. I'm going back. You're welcome, Lee. Thanks for coming. Thank you, Prasanna. I'm glad you were able to make it. I hope you're well. I don't think there are any other comments. So I am going to thank you so much for coming today. It definitely made it worth it. Not super exciting to talk to yourself. So it's nicer to to have a nice friendly group here. Thank you guys so much, and I shall see you next week. Next week I'm on holiday, but I'll be in a room and I'll be on Wi-Fi and we'll chat, and I might have another topic. Please give me feedback if this was useful, and if you have other topics that you'd like me to go in depth, feel free to put it in the chat or on private message to me. For example, do you like these kind of in-depth sessions? Some of you have been on these sessions before. Do you like these in-depth sessions, or do you prefer open ask me anything type of thing? And secondly, if you like these in-depth sessions, would you have any specific topics that you'd like me to go deeper on? I'd be happy to do that, so that it's for everybody's benefit. And please don't think, like I said, I'm the expert and I'm blah 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 and everybody's listening. Right now I learned just by sharing so much stuff with you guys, from your feedback, etc. I learn as much every time when I share, so it's really win-win. It goes both ways. Hey Upasna, thank you, that's very sweet of you. So this is the end. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone watching. I hope you have a very nice evening or a morning, depends where you are, or an afternoon. And like I said, feel free to let me know if you have any specific points on which you'd like to go in depth, like today, and we zoom in for an hour and we talk about that. Have a lovely Friday, happy Valentine's Day, and a even more lovely weekend. Bye.